Hey guys, so I'm finally doing Undertale fan art. I watched the Let's Play from the Game Grumps a while back, and I've been really wanting to draw Greater Dog like so much, and I'm so happy that I finally got around to being able to do it. So this one was quite a bit of a challenge. It involved an animal, granted it's very cartoony, but I still can't really draw cartoony animals, armor, and just general values, and I'm bad at all of those things. So I ended up preparing for this piece, which isn't something that I normally do. Sometimes I just like be whatever and I just jump into it. But this piece, it's like I kind of wanted to have somewhat of an idea of what I was doing, and I didn't want it to look entirely bad. So I actually did some studies beforehand. I did a lot of metal and values, not a lot, okay, I did a couple of metal and value studies. I'm lazy even when it comes to like not being lazy. And then anyway, I looked at a ton of references. I practiced a little bit of armor and didn't really practice drawing dogs, but whatever, what can you do? So I pretty much had a separate window open of just a bunch of different medieval armors and some dogs because I was trying to figure out what to do with the legs. And because the reference, I mean, it's very simple, and I'm trying to make something that's really complex, so I wanted to kind of have a good idea of what armor looks like and what dogs look like, just to kind of get somewhat of an idea of what I'm doing. And it was a lot of fun. It took a while. I think it was like 3.5 hours for this whole thing. I actually forgot to record the background. I'm sorry about that. My computer was getting kind of hot, so I turned off the recorder to give it a bit of a break. And then by the time I went back to finishing the picture, I totally forgot to turn it back on. But the background is just me throwing paint down really quick. It's nothing. But yeah, so had a lot of fun with this, and I definitely learned quite a bit. It was a bit of a struggle. Again, never really drawn armor before this. And I'm pretty decently happy with it. It was a lot of fun to experiment, and the values were actually really fun because they're so contrasty. There's really bright brights and really dark darks, and they're right next to each other, and that's a lot of fun to do. And if you guys, just general suggestion for artists, value studies are super great. Totally recommend it. And armor and metal is a great way to figure that sort of stuff out. And I actually used the dodge and burn tool with this, which is so rare. I can't even remember the last time I ever even touched those tools, because I had a little bit of a phase, very short, many years ago, and I pretty much kept hearing from a bunch of other artists like, stop using that, that's not a good way to shade and do highlights, which is true, because you don't actually learn how to really create the values and the colors yourself. And it's not exactly that it's cheating, it's that it's crushing the artwork. It's not creating true values. But for this, since it was a black and white piece to begin with, there's not really anything to potentially ruin. It's not like I'm doing it on top of a color, because dodge and burn just do whites and blacks, and that's not good if you want a color piece. But for a black and white piece, it worked just fine, so I was like, I'll try it out and see what happens. And it was actually kind of fun to use and try something different. And I was so sad about the blending because it took so long. The blending step took so long, and it killed all of my highlights, so I had to go back, and that was when I was using the dodge tool. But it was still fun, and it's very messy. Like, the finished product is, I probably could have spent more time like rendering it out and fixing things, but it pretty much got to the point of, I could stop here and it would be okay. So that's pretty much what I did. I wasn't actually planning on putting a background in either. That came very last minute as well. I was like, well, he lives in a snowy place, let's just toss in some snow and deal with that. Another thing that I was also putting at the very end was some color. And I was looking at another artist online who does a lot of armor and stuff, and the colors that this guy does is just mind-blowing. And I really wanted to, the more I thought about this, like, I don't really want to have a black and white piece. That's a little boring for kind of what I wanted to have in this one. So I added some blue in the shadows and some yellow in the highlights, And wow, what a difference that made. I actually liked it a lot better. And then when I put it in the background, since it's like a blue snowy place, I wanted to really make sure that I put the yellow highlights in there, because he just would really look out of place if yellow was only in the armor and not in the background. So I put a little bit in the snow and the trees in the background, and that really helped bring it all together. But overall, this piece was a lot of fun, and I would definitely like to do more Undertale fan art in the future. And if you guys haven't played it, or if you haven't watched any Let's Plays, I definitely recommend going in without any spoilers. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Bye!